Hi, I'm Librarian Racine, and I'm here today with Bookseller Kerry, and we're here for the June installment of the ICT Book Club. And today, instead of going over one book, we're giving you a variety of great summer reads that you can find between Barnes & Noble and the Wichita Public Library. So, anyways, I'm going to start off with The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules. And it's a story by Katharina Ingelman-Sundberg. And what happens is that the lady is 79 years old. She lives in a retirement home. They had come under new management. And what happens is that they get bad food and bad times. And so these League of Pensioners start a revolt, and they this meticulous planning of this heist of a hotel next door to them. It's a luxury hotel. And the woman, Martha, things are going great because they've done great planning, but then Mother Nature intervenes with a storm. There's the Yugoslavian mafia. The police are trying to figure out this whole crime, which turns into some sort of art heist from the National Gallery. So
are they stealing the art?
Is that maybe?
Spoilers.
I hate to spoil it, but anyways, I was trying to find books that were really great kind of light summer reads. And, this is in the vein of a man called Ove. If you're in Kansas, it's Ove. We've had this discussion before. But anyways, and also there's another book that we were talking about, The 100-Year-Old Man Who Climbed Out the Window. It was another Scandinavian book about a man who is an octogenarian. No, wait. She's an octogenarian.
Right.
He's a geriatric escapee.
He is. I think he just wants some beer or some whiskey.
He wants booze and he leaves.
He can't get it into a place where he's at. So he is. Yeah, he's a geriatric escapee.
So, anyways, I wanted to recommend this one for people who loved A Man Called Ove. And it's The Little Old Lady Who Broke All the Rules. We're going to have a list of the books that we're reading, and it's going to be connected here in the comments shortly. And to chime in if you liked it, if you didn't like it, that's okay. We want to hear. And so go ahead and put in your comments in the comments.
And you can't read that cover.
We were talking about cover love. So it's all of the books today have excellent covers. So, yeah.
Yes. All right, well, I guess I'll start with my first one. It's called Dark Matter, and it's a really interesting book because it goes across all sorts of genres. It is a thriller, but then there's also a love story, and then there's also science fiction elements to it. So it follows this character named Jason, who was a physicist and he was a graduate student who had a very promising career in front of him. He was very intelligent. He had a grant for lots of money for this project. And he meets this woman, Daniela, and she ends up pregnant a couple months into their relationship. So he and she make the decision that they are going to get married and start a family and really focus on that. And then when their son is born, Charlie, he is needing constant care the first year of his life. He has these medical complications. So they both make the decision again to focus on their family over their career. So they always kind of wonder, what if? And there is a friend of Jason's who has won this prize. He's going to the celebration and he's coming home and he gets knocked on the head and drugged up. And when he wakes up, he is in this whole other place, this lab. He doesn't know where he is. People are calling him by his name, but he is not the person that they think they are. So we get to branch out into what might have been if Jason had never prioritized his family over his career. And then what he might have discovered, and it goes into alternate realities. It's, like you said, it's a love story, it's thriller, it's all these different aspects, and it's a really, really interesting and fast read.
Yeah, I mean, the pace on that one was so fast, and the concepts in it was just
Yeah, it's definitely a book that makes you think. I would say of all the books that I picked, it's a thriller, but it's a psychological, you know, it makes everybody wonder.
It's got that hook in it.
And it also makes you wonder what makes you you, and how do the decisions that you make to, you know, all of the different choices in life define you. So it's very interesting, highly recommend, especially if you don't know what to read or you want to read something completely different.
Yeah, no, that's a great suggestion. That's Dark Matter by Blake Crouch.
Right.
Okay, get ready, because actually, I was trying to think of a contest that we could do, because this is signed by the author, free book, signed by the author that you could have. Tell you what, in the comments section, the first person, and we will send this to Wichita, or we could bring it over to Barnes & Noble, right? First person to answer with their favorite book cover.
Oh, that's a good one.
Will get a copy of this book that's signed. So this book is called I Found You by Lisa Jewell. This is kind of my thriller for this. It starts as a story of three people. There's a mom, and she lives with her kids, and actually the woman had fun in her youth because there's three different fathers from three different continents. Go girl. But she's living in this small English town. She's got a lovely life, good kids. And then she notices a man on the beach staring out. And he doesn't leave the beach, and he's there. And then it starts to rain, and she brings him into her house. So she's kind of brought in this man that nobody knows about. Actually, the youngest child dubs him Frank. And he's got amnesia. So it's like, where did this man come from? Meanwhile, in London, there's Lily, and she's recently immigrated from Ukraine. She married a man who they have this lovely honeymoon, time going on for 6 weeks of marriage, and he disappears. Nothing, nada. He doesn't come home from work. She freaks out. She doesn't know hardly anybody in London, so it's a matter of what happened to her husband. And then she's realizing she doesn't really know any of his friends. She maybe knows where his mom is. His sister's estranged from him. What happened to her husband? Then the fairy tale kicks in, which is like this story of this family, and they're vacationing in this small town. It was two parents and two teens. The girl is being pursued, 15-year-old girl is being pursued by this man. And her brother doesn't like him for some reason. Dun, dun, dun. So anyways, it's one of those where it's like, okay, did I see this coming? It was a pretty good twist. So I Found You by Lisa Jewell, and this could be yours. Stephanie?
We have a winner.
We have a winner.
Dana.
Anna.
Dana.
Sorry, Dana.
What was that?
Anne Rice, all Anne Rice covers. So she really did pick one, but she was the first.
Anne Rice covers are cool.
And also, the next person, Emily, said, I Like You by Amy Sedaris. So.
Oh, yeah. You know what? We're also going to find you a book. We're going to direct message you, and we'll find you something good, okay? Thank you so much for playing.
Thank you.
All right, so.
All right, the next one that I have, I had to pick because, as you can see, it's midnight at the Bright Ideas bookstore, so it's a bookstore, and that's my life. I've been there 13 years, so I think I can say that. This is actually his first novel, and it's really, really well written, so I'm really looking forward to everything else that he is going to write in the future, which I hope is many, many books. But it follows Lydia Smith as she is a clerk in this Bright Ideas bookstore in Denver. And she really loves her job, as we all do who get to work with books. And she really connects with a lot of the regulars, there are a lot of people who are in all the time. Some of them are homeless, some of them just like being around books. And she really makes connections with them that nobody else in the store really does. She calls them her book frogs. So, and there's an explanation.
Frogs are cute.
In there, so she's closing up around midnight on one of these nights, and she thinks that one of those regulars might still be in the store, and she hears some shuffling from their top floor because, as all really cool bookstores, they have multiple levels. And so she goes up there and she finds Joey Molina, which is one of her book frogs, has hung himself. Yeah. So it's pretty obvious he wants her to find him because he has a picture in his pocket of her as a child with her dad and friend that was taken shortly before, as we discover, this really traumatic thing that she witnessed as a child that she's basically been running her entire life from. So she's got Joey, it's really, again, another traumatic thing that she finds him, and she finds that he has left her everything that belongs to him, and she finds this riddle from him in the form of course, books. So she is trying to go through that and see why he might have made the choices he did to end up suiciding for her to find. And then also she's going through kind of peeling layers of her past out. And it's very interesting to me because you get to see it through her memories. So she was, I think, about 10 years old when this traumatic thing happens. And so you go through her memory and you see it through a child's perspective, and then you see it through an adult as she's going back and revisiting it. So she's meeting with people from her past and trying to figure it out. And there's a good twist in there. So it's a really good blend of literary fiction and thriller.
Oh, wow.
Midnight at the Bright Ideas Bookstore by Matthew Silverman.
That was on my list, and I haven't gotten to it yet.
This is
and
another
so
one.
it's just gotten bumped up in that TBR pile.
Yes. I'm sorry to interrupt. The covers thing that we were talking about, this one has a great cover.
That has a great cover.
But yeah, it's highly recommended. So.
Okay. And we're going to have all of these books on a list that you can link to through the library. So be looking for that after the post. Real quick, I should mention that, say you get tired of reading this summer. Summer is always the time for road trips. We've got books on CD. We've got playaways. Did you know about these?
Did not.
These are so slick. This is Game of Thrones. It's like the whole story loaded onto an MP3 player.
Oh my gosh.
And so you just add headphones or plug it in and add a AAA battery, and boom, you've got the whole story right there.
That is so cool.
Yeah, it's really nice. And so those check out from any of our Wichita Public Library branches. And there's also audiobook, One Click Digital from the Kansas State Library. So that's another way to listen. Audiobooks are not cheating. Do you hear me, people?
They're not. No. You mentioned road trips, but I drive. I live in Derby, so every day I have like a 20 to 30 minute commute, and that's a lot of time where I would love to be reading, but I'm driving. So audiobooks are a really great way to use that time.
I'm really close to work, and I can still go through a book, and so really, it's okay. You can listen as well.
Yeah.
And it's a good way to catch up on some great books that you might have missed. So, and that's kind of what I'm doing because I had the new ones. Actually, Little Old Lady, that one came out in March, but I'm going to go back to last summer. Oh my gosh.
I love this one.
You love this? Did you read Eligible?
I did.
Okay, Eligible by Curtis Suttonfield. And actually, we did hers, was it Twinland? Was her other book?
Sisterland.
Sisterland.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. And that was a great book. It was, but this one's even better. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's Pride and Prejudice, updated for the modern day. And so Liz, she's in her late 30s. Her and her sister Jane live in New York City. Liz is a writer, Jane's a yoga instructor, which seems so apropos. And they're called back to their home in Cincinnati because their dad has gotten sick. Well, when they come back, they find out that the house has just kind of gone to pot. Their mother is more concerned with them finding husbands than anything else. And was it 2 out of her other 3, the 3 younger sisters? One of them's working on her 3rd online master's.
That was Mary, I think.
Yeah. And then the other 2, Kitty and Lydia.
Am I right with that? check mine.
I'm not even smiling. Anyways, Kitty and Lydia are doing paleo diets.
Yes. And CrossFit. They're
And
doing
CrossFit.
Yeah.
And they are horrible. They make me laugh so much. Well, okay. Dad, the father, is a doctor, and so he introduces the older girls, Jane and Liz, to other doctors, including Fitzhugh Darcy. And he is not, you know what, it's all Pride and Prejudice. It's so funny in the update. This is one of those books where I just laughed.
Yes.
I love that, where it's like you're going along and you laugh out loud. So this is my good summer read if you're wanting one. So, and it's not completely mindless. How's that?
It's not. No, actually, it's. I thought that they did a really good job of bringing modern day prejudices. You still have things like class and wealth and stuff that are huge, aspects, and marrying well is still a big thing. But there are a lot of modern day prejudices that are included in this. Plus,
Carrie,
a lot
a
of
kind way of saying that. Yes.
But it's so worth a read. Also, they reference, there's a Cincinnati chili that they constantly reference that I think is hilarious, and it made me giggle every single time. So sometimes it wasn't even, the big things that made me laugh, but it was definitely, I completely agree with you. It made me laugh, and it was a really good read.
So, eligible. And it's, what was it, one of the things they updated? Now I can't remember the character's name. Chip Bingley.
Right.
He was on Eligible,
Yes.
which was like a bachelor kind of reality show.
Yep. So yeah, that's a huge theme through it, that this whole reality show, and then at some point they're working on some stuff, and there's just cameras everywhere, and being in the bathroom, and it's just hilarious. It's definitely worth reading. All right.
Okay.
So, my next
Get
one.
us, sister.
This is a book by Sarah Addison Allen. It's called Garden Spells. It's been out for a few years. I think it was 2011 or 2012. One of the things I love about her is the covers. It's fantastic. All of her books have really great covers, so props to whoever planned that. But this one, Sarah Addison Allen does a lot of magical realism in her books. So she does a lot of various magic, but it's not very blatant. It's just more of kind of a background thing. She never refers to it, not like in a fantasy novel, where witches are casting spells everywhere. It's just kind of something that's in the world, and I really like it. She's very good at weaving characters and then her environments together. So this book follows, it's the first book in the Waverly Chronicles, I believe is the name of it, but Waverly's the family name. And it's 2 sisters who are in their 30s, I think, who have not spoken to each other for a really long time. So one of them is living in the grandmother's house, and the other one ran away when she was 17 or 18. And so she is coming home to this family house and meeting her sister who she hasn't talked to. She's also bringing her daughter that she has now. So one of the
Did
things,
anybody know about the daughter?
No, she has not been in contact since she ran away because she wanted nothing to do with her family.
Mm.
She liked their grandmother when they lived with their grandmother. Their mother had passed away pretty early, and she left. But one of the things about this family is that they all have this kind of magical gift to them. So Claire is, sorry, I like to make sure my character's name is right. Claire is the one that has stayed behind, and her skill is that whatever she is feeling, and then certain herbs that she puts in her cooking can make people feel certain ways. So she actually has a catering business, and so she's very popular, and she lives this very normal life, you know, aside from having this gift. And she doesn't take chances, and she never, you know, she's just very like straight hair. She just does her thing, and she keeps with it. And then her sister has come back, and her sister is always the wild one. And her sister has a gift too, but it's not with cooking, so it shows itself in different ways. So they're kind of dealing with how do they approach each other, how do they make a relationship, and then also the sister who has the daughter. She has been in this relationship that is not good, so she's kind of on the run with her child. So it's very good. It's just kind of how family works, sisters, in the town. It's a small town, of course. So how does everybody react to them? And then it's also Claire kind of stepping outside of her comfort zone. So it's a very good read. All of her books are very churning reads, I would say. But magical realism, I don't think anybody does it quite as well as she does. So Sarah out of Salem, Arkansas.
Cool. Do you remember that, or did you read that book that came out, Memory of Lemon?
I did not.
Okay, it kind of sounds, but not totally. So just throwing that title out, but I'm gonna have to go back and look into that. That sounds really good.
Well, all of hers, she tends to, it's kind of chick lit, I guess, is what her stuff would fall into, but most of her books feature like really strong female characters, and they usually have some conflict in their past that they're kind of working on or building from. And a lot of times she'll have older characters, and she'll also do children. So I think not every author can write all ages very well, so she does good. But I'll have to check out the other one. What was that one called again?
Memory of Lemon.
Okay.
Actually, a Kansas author too.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah. So, anyways, well, how?
You have a bit of time.
Okay.
Do my last one?
Yeah, because that's a good lead in to the one I'm going to talk about for next month.
Absolutely. So this is called Six Gun Snow White. It is by Catherine Valente, and I have to say, she is one of my absolute favorite authors. She has written a number of adults. She does a lot of fantasy, and she also has a children's book series, The Girl Who Circumnavigated Fairyland, and the Ship of Her Own Making. That is all in the title, by the way. And every one of hers in that series has the title just as long. But Six Gun Snow White, she tends to focus a lot on fairy tales, but she does a lot of twists to them. So this is basically the story of Snow White told as a Western. And the main character is actually half crow Indian. Her father bought her mother, who was a silver miner. So that's, not the friendliest.
But she's of both worlds, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, her mother died in childbirth, so she never knew her mother. Her father, of course, has to marry somebody else, so she gets a stepmother who calls her Snow White, mocking her because she will never be as white as. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So her father pretty much spoils her, and she kind of has her own little world. Where he just brings things. He's really in and out, He's not with her all the time. He's not a good parent, I would say. And he gives her a lot of gifts, but he doesn't spend time with her. And she doesn't have a mother. So she's, growing up in this environment, and then, of course, he marries this other woman. And he gives her one of the gifts is her pistol, which is ruby red. So she names it, has a rose in there. And then I believe it is her horse. She calls Charming.
That's great.
So she ends up running away because she realizes her stepmother is up to no good, of course, as she must be. And her stepmother sends the huntsman as a Pinkerton detective. on her trail.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's like going out and having these adventures, and she runs into a whole lot of people that she meets. There's a town of Janes where they're all Jane, and they all have different backstories, and they all came from different places. She meets, so it's really like nothing, no other Snow White, fairy tale that you've ever read. She really takes some liberties, but they're really good.
Yeah.
Her writing style is just fantastic. I really like Neil Gaiman. He's one of my favorite authors. I think any fan of him would probably like her works. She's very, Alice in Wonderland is one of my absolute favorites. And that kind of language, that kind of flowery language, she usually uses, and she does it very well. So.
Well, and it sounds like a strong female protagonist.
Absolutely. She's definitely very strong, to the point where she needs help sometimes, and she doesn't want to, because she's always had herself, and that's it. So, but that's Six Gun Snow White by Catherine Valente. So, I love it.
Oh. Carrie, thank you so much for coming today.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you visiting. And Carrie's at Barnes & Noble.
Mm-hmm.
Go visit her and the crew sometime. Of course, you can visit Wichita Public Library.
Yeah, well, there's a branch not too far away.
Yeah, it's true. So, anyways, yeah. We don't care, just read. It's good. It's good for the mind and the body and the soul.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyways, next month, there's two things going on. We've got a book club toolbox that I and Librarian Sara are going to be holding. Save the date. It's Tuesday, July 25th. And if you're in a book club, if you want to be in a book club, if you're in a library book club, don't care, come if you want to join a book club. This is a great opportunity for you to add some spice into your book club, get things under control if you need to. But two, we're going to be speed dating. We have book club sets, and we're going to be talking about great reads that you can incorporate. So anyways, join us. That's July 25th, and that'll be here at the Central Library. On our next ICTBC, July 19th, you were talking about Snow White with Six Guns. We're kind of mixing it up because we are going to be talking about one particular book. It was published in 1982. It's a fantasy book, and it's about a knight, but he doesn't carry a lance or a sword. He carries a 6-shooter. Did you peek at what we're going to talk about?
I might have.
It's by Stephen King. It's not a horror movie or a horror book. It's fantasy. And it's about a man going in search of a dark tower. And there were 7 books. It was amazing because it started in 82, ended in 2004. And believe you me, I got in there about 92, and it was like, write those books.
Yes.
Write those, and as many others were who had read the series. So anyways, Stephen King's The Gunslinger. That'll be next month, July 19th, during your lunch hour, 12:30, on Facebook Live. Don't miss it. So, again, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
It was lovely to have you here today. And we'll get those books out for those people who won. Thanks for playing with us today. And we'll see you next time.